Hello, sweet souls, and welcome to the We Are the Medicine podcast. I am your host, Donnia Anastasia. I am a spiritual being having a human experience as a planter of seeds, alternative medicine practitioner, and trail guide on the path of life. We Are the Medicine is an exploration of the human experience through our stories. Our stories heal, our stories are our medicine, our experiences are our medicine. This is how we learn, grow, inspire, expand, and connect. My hope is that you will listen for inspiration and deeper understanding of how your individual life plays a role in that of the collective. I also hope to engage you, the listener, in conversations around your own dinner tables, in cafes and boardrooms, so that we may all begin to hold space for one another. Welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for joining me today. Today's episode is my 11 guideposts for a long, healthy, happy life. Number 1, love. Everything is love. Your speech, your actions and behaviors, your thoughts, everything we do must come from love. From deep within you is a knowing of how you could show up in the world. From deep within our hearts, we are connected to an unlimited source of love. We have forgotten, and thus we must remember. When we choose to come from love in all that we do, even the biggest struggle can be seen and felt by the heart as a gift instead of the travesty that we make it out to be. Because everything happens for us and not to us. And it happens for us for our highest and best truth in all of space and time. Yes, it sucks sometimes to be human, to live in the world that tries to control and manipulate us. But this too is a gift. Because when we see everything as a gift, it changes how it feels inside. It changes how we may respond with it rather than react to it. When it feels heavy and overwhelming and hard, go deep. Be gentle within your being. Not to ask why, but to ask, what is life wanting you to see in this very moment? What is this very moment attempting to teach you so that you can grow and expand into awareness of your own existence? Love. Love is the answer, and it never matters what the question is. Number 2, brush your teeth and floss every day. This human costume we wear is only for a short blip in the scheme of the universe. But while we have it, we're the caretakers of it. And being such, we owe it to ourselves, we owe it to the Creator to take the very best care of it that we possibly can. The suits that we wear, full of cells and fibers and muscles and tissues and fascia, are powerful beyond words. They are literally self-healing mechanisms. We were created to heal. Get a paper cut and find out. What does the body immediately do? It causes inflammation around the cut so that new blood can flush in and begin the rebuilding process. Amazing. But somewhere in our history, we have been convinced that we are not powerful, that we are not magical beings of light, and that we do not have the ability to heal ourselves. And we've played along, and now we have industries built around this idea. We run to a doctor every chance we get to see what's wrong, to hear from this professional who is merely practicing the art of medicine for a quick fix, and then we continue in our old ways. We've been conditioned to fall in line, that there are referrals to acquire, diagnoses to learn, and all the while pay insurance companies to tell doctors how much time they're allowed to spend with us. When you're not feeling well, yes, something is wrong. Perhaps it's been a long time coming as a chronic illness, and one day it just pops up. I have no idea how this happened, people might say. Have you considered that it is our lifestyles, our mass food consumption, it is our distrust in our intelligence of our own bodies, in our physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, and spiritually beautiful aspects of ourselves? All pain is nothing more than a little white flag from the body that's trying to get your attention. Hey, I need you to notice me. To brush your teeth and floss daily. Number 3, catch yourself. If you ever find yourself addicted to something, shopping, gambling, love, sex, food, alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, stress, or other humans, please catch yourself. All addictions serve a purpose. There is a reason we act out these cravings. Your job, your responsibility is to figure out why you're craving this or that. Sometimes it's because we need to escape a life that we have been strong armed into living. Sometimes it's because of specific social pressure to belong. And sometimes, like with stress, we really have no idea we're even addicted to it. This is the worst addiction of all. The most deadly, the most widespread epidemic of our time isn't drugs and alcohol. It's stress. Why? Because you can't really see it, most times can't feel it or taste it or smell it until you do. We're conditioned by our culture to speak, act, live, even play a certain way, according to everyone that isn't us. Each of us is so unique and individual, like delicate pieces of a puzzle. We each have a unique reason, a unique spot to fill, and yet we're constantly striving to be like everybody else. When we betray our own true nature, our gifts, our talents, our ideas and beliefs, our bodies tell a story of such betrayal by way of chronic illness and lifelong dis-ease. The body has been equipped to handle stress. It's called cortisol. This nervous system hormone is the most addictive substance known to humans, though. It is very handy when the need to flee danger arrives at your door. However, because we're not living in our truth according to our unique puzzle piece, the mind and body are out for defense. The entire system knows it's not living according to its truth, and so the nervous system is always on, always begging for another hit so as to calm the system down long enough, sometimes just to make it through another day. This is the very reason stress-related illnesses run rampant in our culture and are the leading cause of death among every population. They won't stamp cause of death stress. Instead, they'll label it diabetes, heart disease, cancer, IBS, RA, Crohn's, MS. The list goes on and on. When are we going to wake up and start catching ourselves? Number 4, align all the parts. If at any time you're not coming from a place of love, joy, ease, compassion, and peace, you're kind of out of alignment with your true nature. If you experience overwhelm and anxiety, you're out of alignment with your soul's deepest desire and that of your creator. The range of emotions we get to experience in this life are either low frequency vibrations or high frequency vibration emotions. And since we're all made of energy, this is where our attention needs to be focused when we're feeling blue. The most beautiful process is right in front of us, and yet we still don't see it. All emotions emit a frequency that either makes us feel good or makes us feel unwell. The lower end vibrational emotions are there to guide us when we are straying from our true north. Those can be anxiety, fear, lack, unworthiness, self-doubt, self-sabotage, any quote unquote negative feeling thoughts. And that's all. And they're just temporary. These too will pass. The gift is in the decoding of the messages that they bring to our attention. Because again, they're all gifts. Emotions can be likened to an invisible dog fence. Imagine this invisible fence has guideposts surrounding you at all times. You can call them triggers, conditioning, beliefs, patterns. These are your limitations set up for survival by our ego. When one of them, say, triggers anger within us. We get an electric jolt and it sends a message to respond in order to understand what is happening. Anger is a very important emotion and completely 100% okay to have, express, and own. This message can be, you might not be in front of the right person for this, or where can you find more compassion? Where can you find more self-love in the moment? What is this teaching me in this very moment? Emotions teach us on the daily about how our inner landscape is either lined up with or out of alignment with the task, person, thing, event, and situation at hand. And when we're out of alignment, it is nothing more than an invisible guideposts alerting you that you are not where Source intended you to be. We all have an invisible fence that our ego created for us to be safe. And these guideposts, like the ego, can be very sneaky, so conniving, or so it seems at times. The ego, sometimes I feel like, is a jealous, well meaning, but overprotective friend who really just wants you to be happy and safe, but is fearful of your life choices at the moment. Because, well, it threatens what we've come to know. It makes us uncomfortable in all the ways that it has bent over backwards to keep us safe. It will create resistance for you. And this, again, is such a gift. Lean into the resistance. Where are you resisting yourself in this moment? And the beauty within us is that it is always an opportunity for us to receive the message, to decipher its coding, and learn how to respond with it so that in the future, our neural pathways have been rerouted to a better feeling thought, a better feeling action, a better feeling word, a better feeling like ease, understanding, empathy. And couldn't we all use just a little more empathy? Number 5, laugh. Laugh, 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 laugh long, laugh hard, laugh until your sides hurt, laugh until you pee your pants and tears run down your face. Laugh every single chance you get, especially at yourself. Laughter is one of those actions that release serotonin in the body, the arch nemesis of cortisol. It sends the message to the body that we're good, so very good right now. Think back to a time when you and your best friend were simply hanging out, and one of you said something, not even particularly that funny, but you both glanced at each other and busted out laughing so hard and long that you fell off your chair and rolled around on the floor. Your stomach hurts. Your cheeks hurt because you're so present in that moment, and for one split second, everything was perfect and right in the world. In a world where we LOL and ROTFLMAO, we must bring back laughter into our spaces and times and do it more and more and more. Actually do it. Take my word for it. It does not create the same internal landscape that the physical act of laughter will ever bring. So instead of typing it, let's do it. You simply cannot be stressed and laughing out loud at the same time. How can you bring more laughter into your body? Laughter makes us feel happy, connected, light, and free, if only for the moment. But then all of our experiences really only last a moment. It is us, our minds, who have been trained to cling to the crappy situations and all the heavy emotions in life long after that we've been finished with them. But we were given the power of choice. We get to choose what we focus on and where our attention goes. We have that power. We've always had the power, but the problem lies in wishing things were different and trying a new way. There's nothing useful in wishing or trying. One must practice what we want to live. We must practice drinking more water. We must practice laughing out loud, just as an exercise. Practice seeing things for what they are, temporary, and move on. Practice not for the sake of perfection, but for the sake of your own soul, to come back into alignment with the moment. Go ahead, tilt your head back, and just laugh at nothing. Laugh at me. Just laugh. Number 6, have favorites. Have some favorite experiences in life. Cultivate your favorite smell, your favorite sight, your favorite sound, taste, your favorite touch. Pay real close attention to these favorites and how they make you feel. Indulge in them as much as you can with zero guilt. When we remember our favorite aspects of life, of our beings, the experiences that brought us joy-filled hearts, satisfied bellies, and calm nervous systems, our bodies get a chance to relax, to come back to center. Cultivate your favorites, curate your life around them, and call them to mind every time you hit one of those invisible guideposts. Crappy things are going to happen in this impermanent life of ours. That is true. But we do not have to suffer them. We do not have to make them a part of who we are. Gifts that they are allow us to reach deeper fields of expression and expansion, of experiencing life on such a deeper, more profound level. Our sense of smell is connected to our earth element. Our sense of sight is connected to the fire element. Our sense of touch is connected to the air element. Our sense of taste is connected to the water element. And the sense of sound is related to the ether element. The favorites you choose and that are in harmony with you will always bring you joy and a sense of contentment, which is why they must be cultivated daily if possible. Because who wouldn't want more joy in their life? Number 7, be honest. Say what you mean every time with everyone, especially yourself. People don't need to know everything about a situation, but they do deserve to be spoken to with honesty. You deserve to be spoken to with honesty. And honesty in this culture is so hard. We don't want to offend. We don't want to appear smug. We care what others think of us. We use our words like swords when they serve our purpose. And why? Because of a perceived thought, idea, or threat from another. Being honest starts with yourself. If you can't be honest with yourself, you will most likely not be able to be fully honest with others. Honesty requires that you come from integrity, from authenticity. But we would rather appear small and undervalued than speak our truth. Speaking your truth must be done, and it must be done now. It must be done with grace and humility and integrity. When we speak ill of another, think ill of another, we're only damaging our own already fragile egocentric subconscious, creating more untrue stories for the mind to wander around. Words are spells, if nothing else. What you say and think are like boomerangs that will eventually all come back to find you in one form or another. Being honest is a skill most of us cultivate and practice daily. Starting with yourself. Being honest with your feelings, your choices, your actions and speech will bring you many gifts to bring clarity and harmony back into your life. It'll be uncomfortable. It'll be challenging since we've been brought up in a culture where it is safer to remain quiet and lie than to be outspoken and honest. But this too is part of the reason we are in the place that we find ourselves, stressed, overwhelmed, and fatigued. Our bodies and minds were created for a purpose, and when we're not living that purpose out of integrity, we will invite dis-ease in the body and mind. You have nothing to lose but your health. Number 8, breathe. Prana, life force. The one thing we require above all else to exist. Air to breathe. And we do this act of survival, like most of our tactics for survival, on autopilot, completely involuntary. And unfortunately, therein lies a major issue with our lifespan and our longevity. These bodies, these organs, they all have a limited warranty. Some people have a longer warranty with how many breaths your heart and lungs will provide. My point is that we have the opportunity to make every breath a conscious act of thriving for ourselves. Most humans have very shallow breath patterns, whether it's because we have to talk a lot for our jobs, or because we're overly anxious, or because we hold our breath in too often. When we breathe shallow, many physical ailments can arise. Chronic headaches, neck and jaw pain, upper back muscle tightness, and I could go on. The somatics aren't important enough for this conversation. Suffice it to say, please practice steady, long, deep breathing every day. And by that I mean closing your eyes for a moment, inhaling through the nose, long and steady, feeling the belly rise, maybe 6 to 8 seconds in, holding the breath for just a moment, and then exhaling fully until you just can't get any more air out. We end up taking less of them, less breaths, thus keeping that warranty good for years of breathing to come, more years than with the shallow breath that we're accustomed to. Long, deep breathing immediately calms the nervous system and sends the cortisol drop into shut-off mode. It enhances the immune system by bringing in steady and slow oxygen particles into itself. It helps digest our foods and carry the nutrients to the proper places. Long, deep breathing strengthens the lung capacity. It also allows for muscle growth and fascia expansion. It gets carried into our bloodstream, which eventually also reaches the bones to build new blood for the body to be pumped by the heart. The mere act of drawing in a long, deep breath from the belly also opens up the chest and allows space to enter the body. Space allows things like muscles, tendons, tissues, fibers, and cells to regenerate and for fluid to move quicker and with more ease. The first step is to notice how you breathe during your day. How are you breathing right now? Where can you bring in more moments of quiet, long, deep breathing? Number 9, authenticity. Accept that this path of awareness, the unpacking, and getting into our flow state is a journey into the true self. Never underestimate the fact that being authentic, living authentically, may force others from you and you from them. We want to belong so badly, it's in our innate DNA, that we will do anything to prevent being cast out of our tribe, out of our families, cast out of our birth families, our friendships, and business relationships. Being authentic means to accept that you must often choose between it and belonging to the group. But have no fear. You will find a tribe that resonates with you so hard that you can't help but be your true authentic self. This will take practice and patience, lots and lots of patience. How much longer can you go on in your chronic pain and keep parts of you hidden and buried? What will it take for you to dig deep and to find your voice, your true north, and start showing up for yourself as that being every day. Since most humans don't even think about it, it's likely you'll spend your entire existence here in a loop of suffering for your own truth for the sake of belonging to a group that does not see you, does not hear you, does not support you, does not resonate with you. It takes courage and bravery to be authentic. And we trade our authenticity for approval time and time again because we've been conditioned to do so. It's also painful to feel like we don't belong. But in my opinion, it's more painful to not be authentic. Take a moment and write down all the ways in which you feel you're being authentic in your relationships, in your job, in your family. It may be a very short list. And now make a list of all the ways in which it's easy for you to betray your authenticity for the sake of feeling of belonging. This may be a much longer list, and it will give you a sense of direction of where you can start your inward journey. That is, if being authentic is an important core value of yours. Your truth is authenticity. You already know who you are and what you need. We've just forgotten. The wisdom of your authentic selves knows that it is whole and pure and worthy. You already know. Number 10, riding the wave of that upward spiral. Oh, the stages of growth, expansion, and healing, stages of awareness, unpacking, and being in our flow state. The ego loves to keep us in its grasp, in its loop of keeping us safe and small and protected. But that's all an illusion created by our subconscious to keep the peace in our external landscape. Our internal landscape, however, is twisted and tormented and cannot help but alert you to this fact by manifesting a physical condition of pain or discomfort in the body. In the awakened and awareness phase of our journeys, we experience reality in a very different way because we're no longer asleep. When we live from autopilot, like we're taught, we wake, we work, we sleep, repeat. We kind of miss everything. Our routines can either keep us captive or be the gift that we need to see how things might be better if we shifted ourselves. And I'm not talking life-changing shifts, just a mere 2 degrees. When we become aware of what's not working or how a particular thing, event, person affects us on an energetic and emotional level, we have the option of leaning in further to see what's going on and to shift our perspective. Once we are aware of our behavior, we can begin to follow the threads of intelligence back to when and where this first took place and what meaning we may have given it. Because life is neutral. Everything that happens is neutral. It's us as humans who assign labels to things: good, bad, right, wrong. That's what can and does cause suffering, and we lose our connection to source. These must be investigated and seen and acknowledged and welcomed so as to be integrated back into the whole self. That is what healing is. Wholeness actually means healing, and our bodies, all they want to do is heal. And then comes the flow state of being. When we feel at one with the world around us, we are genuinely content and happy, and there is no suffering. This happens especially quick when we are actually on a path of healing and discovery on purpose. But then sometimes we fall asleep again, sometimes for decades, as in my case, until that something happens and we wake up again, only to find that we aren't happy, we aren't healthy, or aligned much. And so it's back to the awareness state again. Soon you'll be in the uncomfortable, messy, beautifully ugly unpacking state again. But have faith. That flow state, of bliss and contentment is right around the corner, and life can be great. But as we're learning, everything, and everything, I mean, everything is temporary. The awareness state, the unpacking, the flow state, because this is the contract we signed up with before our souls made this giant leap back onto Earth for one more go around. Isn't this fun? I must say that this is my favorite thing about being in this human body right now. All the growing and learning and expanding going on. It's just so exciting and exhausting at the same time. Because it really is all kind of hilarious if you think about it. Number 11, seeing the truth and light in everybody else. I truly believe we each have the innate wisdom to guide our own path. I believe that when we struggle, our pain becomes too much. That's when we must reach out and ask for help. Not because we can't handle our situation or our emotions, but because we need reminding of how we can navigate this life, heal ourselves with our own being, with our thoughts, with our actions, our moment to moment awareness. We've been so deeply conditioned and convinced that we are not enough in all areas, that we forget that we are an extension of this energy of all things. We are always connected to Source, but it's our perception of not being connected that keeps us suffering. And being part of that source energy of all things, we have the ability to shift, to rebuild, to discover, to remember, to transform any and everything that comes to us. What comes to us most often, I find, is the very thing that we need to explore deeper, to allow us to see how perfectly whole we are, warts and all. Wholeness actually means healing. I am a born phoenix, burning up what no longer serves me to make way for what does serve my higher energy source. To me, it's not a being with a face and arms and legs like I was taught by my upbringing, and definitely not one that places judgment on our actions and behaviors. Source energy doesn't do that. Humans do that. Source energy is us. Call it God, call it the universe, call it nature, living through us. And how can something so magnificent and bountiful want us to suffer and be in pain? We were given the power of choice. And like the law of cause and effect, every single choice we make has an effect. Not only on us, but on our collective consciousness. Because what happens to the part of something happens to the whole. I believe in presenting myself to my colleagues, my clients, my patients, my friends, my family, the community as a mirror, a reflection of what their truth is and how to go about locating and then dwelling in the blissfulness of it all. All the possibility and all the magic they already possess. You already possess. I'm simply here to help you remember who you are. Truth, divinity, eternal. We are all connected. We affect the collective with our thoughts and our actions and our imaginations. We are connected by an invisible frequency from source to Mother Earth, from nature to the seemingly concrete, from you to me. We influence one another energetically, emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Let's start making better choices. Let's start remembering.
And that wraps up another episode of We Are the Medicine podcast. Wanted to take a moment to thank you and to let you know that I am grateful and I appreciate you so much. I see you, I hear you, I do understand. If you feel called, subscribe to my channel, like, share, comment with it, and check out my website for future happenings, DonniaAnastasia.com. That's all for now. I love you so much. It's crazy.